Friends. Okay, before we dive in, take a breath with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, this is our time. This is your time to rest, reflect, and reclaim your boundaries today. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a chance to rest and rise with me, with us, with our community. So I'm Coach Chris again, and this is Radical Rest, Radical Rise, a space for leaders, executives, change makers who are done with burnout and ready for a new way of leading, rooted in care, rooted in rest, and rooted in something that is sustainable. So I'm here to talk about a word that is short but heavy. And the word is no. So, for many people, including myself, this is so hard to say. And I'm still in my ongoing journey of recovery from people pleasing, from saying yes all the time. Yes at work, yes to my boss, yes to my partner, yes to my friends. And it's like sometimes I don't even know what the word no is. That's what it feels like. So I'm still in recovery and I'm still learning. And I've been thinking a lot about this lately. I feel like I can speak for myself, but I think a lot of us can relate to this. But a lot of us have been taught, either explicitly, from our families, coworkers, our bosses, our friends, even like the media, our faith based communities, just the people in our community taught explicitly or implicitly that our value and self worth comes from always agreeing or saying yes. Yes to more work, yes to always being available, and yes to doing what always makes other people comfortable, even when we feel discomfort or even when it costs us. So I'll be honest, there were so many moments in my career where I said yes out of fear of disappointing someone, fear of being seen as useless, fear of being overlooked for future opportunities that I knew that I deserved. And the yeses weren't always like big responsibilities. Sometimes it was like, working an extra half hour. Sometimes it was taking on a project that no one else wanted or supervising, an assistant or another staff member that people found, quote unquote difficult. I'm usually like the peacemaker wherever I go. And so oftentimes I'm charged with that. Sometimes it's smiling through, I do this. I smile through my exhaustion, my frustration. Sometimes I make fun of my own stress, make light of it. And there are even times where I force myself to even express gratitude when I know that I'm really frustrated and what I really need is just a moment to take a step back, to rest and to say no. But every time I said yes in those instances, when I wanted to say no, even though my soul was really craving no, even though my body was just like screaming for boundaries, when I said yes, I abandoned a part of myself. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately too, is that when I abandon myself by saying yes when I really mean no, it feels like a form of self harm. And that's something that, I rarely talk about and that I don't hear a lot of conversations about that, in our workplaces or communities. And this really relates to like burnout because we talk about burnout in many ways in our society and in media, sometimes in our workplaces, like it's inevitable. Like chronic stress is just something that comes with the territory and we burn out and then we have to recover and then go through the cycle again. It's really commonplace for me to hear people celebrating their self-sacrifice. I've done that before. Celebrate saving the day, celebrating their martyrdom. Like it's unquestionably like noble and right. But I often wonder, like, where's the space to say, actually, you know what? I'm tired. Actually, I need help. And, my answer is no. period. So in thinking about all those instances where I wanted to say no when I was saying yes, I realized, wow, I didn't have the language for all those work memories or those work experiences. And I'll be honest with you, having different marginalized identities, I often didn't feel safe enough to say it, to say no. But now I've started to realize, and this is just through conversations with friends and just my own reflections, is that every yes that betrays my body, my boundaries, my truth, tends to cost more than it gives. It's costing me. And reclaiming my no is not just an act of self-preservation, it's an act of liberation. So I'm going to walk you through 3 things that can help when no feels really, really hard. And these are just some learnings I've been pondering about lately. 1, reframe no as protection, not rejection. This is a thought that I'm having, but I've heard this before from other people too. We have to remember that saying no doesn't make us mean or selfish. It protects our time, it protects our energy, and it protects our overall purpose for being here. We're not rejecting people, we're honoring our limits. Okay. Insight number 2, notice the pattern. We can ask ourselves, when do we say yes by default? When do we feel guilty? When do we feel anxious? Start noticing, this is what I noticed in myself too, the yes reflex. And once I started noticing that I was saying yes as a reflex, as an unconscious habit, that was my first step toward reclaiming our power. And third, start small. Practice saying no in low stakes situations. That's something that I've been trying to do lately. I had this small, task that my parents were asking me to do. And I know this sounded really mechanical when I was responding to them, but I said to them, like, thanks for thinking of me, Mom and Dad, but I can't commit to that right now. Let's find someone else who can help you with that. So even in that instance, I noticed that I was giving myself permission to build that muscle slowly and with self-compassion. So this week, I want you to reflect on this. What's one recent yes that should have been a no? And how might you handle it differently next time? So I'd like you to drop a comment below. What makes it hard for you to say no? And what's one boundary that you're ready to honor this week? And if this resonated, hit the subscribe button. We're building a brave space for real leadership, grounded in rest and sustainability. So until next time, say more no's when it feels right. Notice the yes reflex. Rest deeply, rise boldly, and lead with love. So I'll see you next time. Remember, I'm Coach Chris.